Just a little update. If you don't think what we're doing is making a huge difference, Stephen Miller is scared shitless. Okay, over on the Insta and here on the TT, I would like for you to try to make a comment that says hashtag Stephen Miller is president or hashtag President Stephen Miller. I've done it here for days and days in a row. At one point, there were like only 6 posts that said Stephen Miller is president, or President Stephen Miller had only 1 post, supposedly. But they're even doing it over on Insta. There was something, I mean, everyone knows that Stephen Miller is the actual around the neck of the GOP. Alaska just voted in a Democrat woman for governor of Fairbanks. I think it was Fairbanks. 20-point swing from the last election. Stephen Miller is absolutely sinking the Republican Party. He alone. On Insta, you can go over and hit hashtag. They've got hashtag Stephen Miller is a Yahtzee that starts with an N. That's there. Stephen Miller is literally evil. That's there. Everything, all the Stephen Miller hashtags are still up and running. But over on Insta, if you hit hashtag Stephen Miller is president or President Stephen Miller, it's not even there. Nothing comes up. Stephen Miller is a Yahtzee comes up. Stephen Miller is literally the devil comes up. But that son of a bitch is so scared shitless. He has some sort of an AI that's taking down every post that's calling him President Stephen Miller, because Stephen Miller is ruining the brand. Absolutely 80% of the country is vehemently opposed to what these little son bitches are doing. This is not about just removing illegal immigrants that are dangerous. This is about removing every brown person. And there's not even the worst of the worst MAGA. Big guts. Since they came out of their grandpappy's left elbow, they've been bigots. Because their grandpappy was an ignorant racist, and that's all that they knew, was also to be an ignorant racist just like their grandpappy. Their grandpappy was a mediocre man who never achieved shit. And instead of realizing that they are in that same very shallow and very short gene pool, along with 4'10" Stephen Miller. So instead of blaming themselves or educating themselves or overcoming the obstacle of being related to that racist grandpappy, they became MAGA. But there's really only 20% of the country that's that racist. So racist that that's their number one thing. Stephen Miller is causing every Republican to lose every single election. And he is so scared shitless that we're going to do to him what we did to Elon Musk. It only took a few weeks of us saying that Elon Musk was president before he was out of a job. Donald Trump isn't doing shit. Every bit of all of this is being done by Stephen Miller. All the immigration raids, all the ICE enforcement. He's been dreaming of this since he was squirted out of his daddy's left nutsack. That man was a born racist, a born lunatic, and he'll never, ever convince me that he's not Goebbels or Gobbles, whatever. He actually was on an interview with Laura Ingraham. I saw on a YouTube video, because AOC burned him alive by calling him a short man. There's nothing wrong with short men. I worked with cardiologists and neurosurgeons all my life. There are some short men out there, much shorter than you'd ever realize. But most of them have, or a lot of them have a real insecurity about that. Stephen Miller does too. So I watched Stephen Miller be interviewed by Laura Ingraham. Laura's obviously having a little trouble keeping her audience going. Laura's got a huge update of her look. She's not quite Mar-a-Lago, but I didn't even recognize her. They have done such a makeover. She must be losing some of those viewers that are just looking to find. You know how they do that over on Fox? They put some bimbo in a chair with a microphone and go, oh, if she's cute, the men are going to tune in. And all they've got left is men. I mean, if you're a woman watching Fox, you've got much deeper problems than can even be dealt with by either this TikTok or years of socioeconomic and psychological study. Women watching Fox? I don't understand how you tick. But the men watching Fox, Stephen was so, Stephen said, well, we always knew AOC's brain didn't work, which is what they say about every brilliant woman, that she's stupid. Because that's their only response. They can't come up with the 8-syllable words to explain that AOC is smarter than all of them. AOC burned him alive by calling him 4'10". So Stephen was like, well, obviously her brain doesn't work. Obviously her eyes don't work either. President Stephen Miller is shitting bricks. He is going through every single, they've got some sort of a flagging try it in the comments, hashtag Stephen Miller is president, or hashtag President Stephen Miller, and watch that there's only going to be 1 or 2 other posts. There are thousands of posts that say Stephen Miller is evil, but no, suddenly every post that says Stephen Miller is president has been taken down. So Stephen Miller is president of the United States. Elon Musk would have done a much better job as president of the United States than that little fucked up dweeb, Stephen Miller, who has been a literal Yahtzee from the day he was born. Nobody likes him. His family hates him. They've written letters about how ashamed and embarrassed they are. And his wife left working at the White House and is still, to this day, working for Elon Musk instead. When Donnie actually kicks the actual bucket, Stephen's going to be out of a job. And about one more round of public humiliation by the Republicans that are trying to win offices, they are going to come pointing fingers at one person and one person only. Stephen motherfucking Miller. He is the one that is literally kicking the chair out from underneath while they're standing upon it with a rope tightly, if you know what I mean. Stephen Miller is actually burning the brand alive, and they all know it. And he's so petrified, he has some sort of an AI feature that takes down the name. So say it loud and clear: Stephen Miller is president, President Stephen Miller, President Stephen Miller, and that little dumb cuck, Donnie John Trump, is only in there for the cash. All he's in there for is a cash grab. After this is all said and done, Stephen Miller is going to go to the smallest cell in the worst prison, where we are going to offer him up on the daily to Bubba and Billy Bob. I can't wait for that chapter. Stephen knows he's in deep shit, or else he wouldn't be erasing these hashtags. So keep up the great work, that little fucking dweeb.